Hello and welcome to the Beard Up Fatherhood Friday podcast, where we'll be discussing, what it is to be a father, and we have two active fathers here. Of course, you have myself and you have my guy, the main man's Samson himself. Introduce yourself, Samson.
Hi everybody, how's everybody doing? It's another wonderful day, Friday, nice weekend for everybody. How's everybody doing? Stay hustle, stay grinding, stay positive. Welcome to the podcast again.
Definitely. It's great to, have my guy Samson here with us to discuss, fatherhood in general and all positivity about it. Of course, everybody has their different mantra or what they feel as if that is classified as a good father. And of course, we're gonna break down our opinions of different things and key topics that fans and people have asked about what it is and what we see with fatherhood in these topics. So of course, let's kickstart. And one of the biggest questions that I see are, Samson, what are the three biggest challenge do you think you face as an active father?
I'll say for me, and I think for most people, uh, number one should be time. Time, media, and family. Media in the sense that time, I'll go with time at first, that because yes, the amount of time you get to spend with the children and not having enough time also to spend with the children. You want more time, and due to job constraints, what some people are working longer shifts, some people are not getting enough time, or if you have overtime, you don't get home to spend time with the children. By the time you come home, the children are already in bed. Now maybe you don't get to read bedtime stories to the kids. Now you only get to just kiss the kids good night. Maybe you were supposed to do pickleball with the kids that evening. That's gone. So that's very important. So time is very important. So time with the kids. Now, the second part of my thing was media. The accessibility to media. Very, very important. I think this is one of the most important thing. What the children are watching, what they have access to, because some things we can control, some other things, no matter, we could set passwords and pin words and everything. Sometimes children will go where the passwords you put, they will record those things and go back into the technological devices and still access things you don't want them to access. And the internet and the technological advent has spiraled out of control, from TikToks to Instagram. So I think it's crazy. So we worry about that a lot, because things online, even some of this stuff is even too much for us as adults to see. So imagine what the children are seeing right now. So that is worrying. It's nerve wracking. So then also, when I say family, I don't say family in a bad way. I say it in a good way, as in support systems. As in, when you are not there, who's supporting the children? When your wife is not there, or your significant other is not, who's supporting you? If I was going to go on a trip right now, who can I call to be at home with my wife or to support the kids while I'm not around? So that's also very important. So that's, for me, my most important things as of right now.
I love those top three, examples and things that you just said. Those are big ones, especially in these times. I'm a I'm a choose for me the first one, the modern time. With modern time, just to have that calm, to know that to know that, oh, my kids are safe if they go to a baseball game or a soccer game, or if they go to hang out with their friends outside the house, if they go, on a trip to the mall or something like that.
Yes. Yes.
With everything going on in this day and age, with
Yes.
shooting and this or that, it makes it kind of nerve wracking when they're not around. Sometimes it makes you get to a point as a father, as it being, your line to protect. You make
Yeah.
you feel kind of like you're micromanaging them.
Yeah.
Anything they do or they go somewhere, Daddy, I'm just gonna go over here and have fun. You know,
Yes.
you're at the park sitting down, and the minute you don't see them for a quick second, you're jumping around, going
Yeah.
crazy, you know, and they could be behind the slide playing in the dirt or something like that. But it's just the fact that, you know, how the mind is set up right now based upon everything that's going on,
Yes.
make it so difficult just to, you know, have that ease of mind in
Yeah.
these times. And I think that's one of my biggest fear when I lay my head to rest at night.
No, I
I
mean,
think about.
I don't. I mean, it's like it's like a silent. Most people call it the prison of my own. All of us, most parents, all of us are in that prison because we all encounter it every day. As soon as we drop the children at school, we
Yeah,
worry about it every day. It's like a silent struggle. We worry about it because safety is now the most important thing. It's priceless. You can't pay for it.
right.
If we worry about it every day, when we leave the house, as the moment the children are not by our side, we worry. It's like there are butterflies in our stomach till the moment they are back with us. So I agree with you. It's very, very, it's an accurate portrayal of what you are saying because you can't predict what the next person sitting next to you wants to do, how unstable the next person is. So you are very correct. I agree with you. It's
It's tough, man. These times are pretty tough, and it makes, you know, it makes you kind of scared and worried about not only now their future, you know, and not just saying my kids. I'm just saying
everybody.
the world, like in general, with the kids, you know, how is it going to be for them growing up even further when they, you know, possibly have kids or stuff like that. It's just, it's a key topic to think about for everyone.
Yes.
You know, another big thing that jumps out of me, you know, is a fear. It's like, you know, my kids, like, you know, not feeling that, oh, daddy loves me, you know, when you discipline them, you know, you as an African man, you know, me as a Jamaican, you know, you know, when it comes to discipline, you know, certain things, I think respect is the biggest thing for us. You know,
Mhm.
if we said, hey, do not touch that, us growing up in those cultures, like, you better not touch that,
You better
you
not.
know. And these days, you know, kids are a little different in my opinion. You know, when you say that, you know, sometimes they might get a little hurt or feel as if, oh, you know, daddy doesn't care this is, but it's just the fact to teach them that, hey, you know, when I say this, or when I say don't do that, it's just to obey and respect the fact that not to do it, because obviously I'm saying it to you for a reason, to make sure whether you don't get hurt or something, you know, bad happened to you. And I think, you know, especially me having girls, I have to watch how I say certain things, as in, like, hey, you know, deliver the message to them, hey, don't touch that, don't touch that pot, or it's gonna burn you. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's the big one of the biggest thing for me, is to make sure I'm careful so I don't hurt their feelings if that daddy don't love you or this or this, you know.
Uh, uh, discipline with tenderness.
Right, right.
Yeah, with tenderness.
With tenderness,
Yeah.
you know. And I think one of your points, I think I'm gonna go, that's a key point. And when it comes to time, you know, spending that quality time with them. You know, look at you. You know, you're all dressed up with your jacket. I'm all dressed up with my jacket. You know, we have to take care of business on a daily to provide for the family. You know, we have to step out and know that, you know, we got to make sure the ship is sailed. You know, and to make sure everyone is safe. So sometimes you come home and you eventually say, hey, let me take that jacket off. You have to know that, okay, this is time for my kids, you know, let me spend that quality time with them, so they know, wow, me and daddy paint together, me and daddy do this together. And I think sometimes in these times, you know, a lot of guys, I'm not going to say everyone, but a lot of guys are like, hey, I'm not going to spend my time painting, I'm not going to spend, let me go watch the football game, let me go watch the basketball game, you know, as what guys do, you know, let me go out with my friends to do it. But I think the quality time that you spend with your kids is very, very, very important.
Yeah, it is because this period of time in which they are young is only very short. Because once they get out of this uh, toddler, they go into their teenage. Let's just say from that 0 to 5, 5 to 10. After that, they won't have time for you. So they, in that molding phase, we really have to spend time with them
No,
as
you're
much as we can. That's where we get to imprint on them, teach them our philosophies, get to give them the knowledge, the wisdom we need to impart on them. So when we are not around them, they will always remember daddy said, don't do this. Daddy always did this like this. Daddy was always home at 8 o'clock. I think I should be home at 8 o'clock. The intuition starts kicking in.
Yes.
It happens, it starts kicking in naturally. So you remember. So now, like some things for us, we just remember, we're like, oh, when the lights were on, I'm supposed to be home.
Right.
So because that's how we were taught. So
Yeah.
now this is how we start teaching them too. So that's what I feel about it. So we just have to start teaching them now. So children watch you. They watch you.
So based upon everything that you just said and I just said, if you put all that together, what do you think, classify a dad, as a good dad?
It's it comes in being a good dad is difficult to classify. But for me personally, from my personal point of view, I think is being patient, being patient, being tolerant,
Hmm.
and slow to anger. Because you,
It's how you said it. Every dad who's watching is like, yes,
being slow,
speak the gospel. That's the
yeah,
gospel.
being slow to anger, because you will be tested, you will be tried, but tender, tender your discipline with tender your discipline, not out of anger, but let it come from a loving place. And always remember, you only have a certain amount of time before these children are out of the house.
Right.
So give them love. You may not do it perfectly,
Yeah.
but try your best.
Most people go and do their best. So I think, doing that for your own kids, your own, lineage on a daily, I think that is a big part of classifying yourself as a good dad, going above and beyond, to make sure they're happy. Go above and beyond to make sure their future, is bright. Go above and beyond to make sure that that smile is on their face. Of course, you're gonna have rocky times where, things don't go as planned. That's
Yeah,
life. But
that's like,
being a good dad is being active to teach them that, hey, when
yeah,
things don't go as planned, is not to cry and mope, but to say, hey, we're gonna find a solution for this problem or this situation that we're in. And I
yeah,
think those are the key things to when it comes to, being a good dad, being as active as possible to know so they know that, you know, when stuff hit the fan, hey, my dad is right there. I can go to
yeah.
him.
Just be supportive in everything, no matter what they are going through. Supportive, be there, be like a rock for them to lean on, and always be there. Just be there, be present, be present. No matter how bad it is, be there in tough times, in hard times, in happy times. Always be there. Just be there. It won't last forever. It will pass through, and it's tough for the minute. It's like a minute, but it will go away. It will go away.
I
Yeah.
agree. And I have there's this question that I see come up many times,
Okay.
and I'm gonna throw this one at you.
Okay.
So you have dads or girl dads, dads who are boy dads, and you have dads, who have different genders, who have boy and girl or two
Yeah.
boys, what, different genders in itself.
Yes.
In your opinion, which
Yes.
one do you think is the hardest? And of course, there's no wrong or right answer to this.
Yes.
It's just you can have a mixture, you can have boy, girl, it doesn't matter.
Tell you,
Each
uh,
one
it,
has its own,
it, it's a girl dad.
is a
You
girl that you
you
think.
you have you have a wife, and now you have a junior boss. They rule with an iron fist. They come in with an attitude you've never seen before. When my daughter was uh I think about I'll say 14 months, she used to tell me, bottle, bottle, bottle. And she said it with force. And you had to give her that bottle, like,
No matter what.
no matter what. She didn't care. If you were sleeping, she would stand by the bed and scream bottle. But
Right.
my son was totally different. He was easygoing. Like, I mean, girls are something else. They they come ready for you. They know.
Yes.
They know they're ready to run something.
I'm in full agreement with you. I think the girls, they're to me they're more bossy. I don't know.
Yeah,
They're more bossy.
they-
They'll come to you. My girls would come to me and say, "Hey, Dad, I want nuggets." And I'm like, okay, us growing up from a different culture, like that's not how you ask for it. Like, what's going on? Like,
like,
you know, and then you might say, okay, wait a second, I want it now. I'm like, what is going on here? What, you know? Hey, Dad, see something on TV with other girls playing with it, a dress. Hey, Dad, I want to have clothes like that. And I'm like, okay, I'll think about it. Oh, when are you gonna buy it? I'm like, what is
eh,
going on?
eh, eh.
And then you have the emotions, when they're around each other and fight and play and stuff like that. And
But
it has its thing about it, but
yeah, the
it, it's
beauty,
it's one of the most warming when you walk through the door.
yes, the beauty of being a girl dad is when they give you love.
Oh man.
It's
Oh
amazing.
man.
Is the purest thing. There
Oh
is the
man.
purest thing. You
When
know.
they give you love, nothing melts your heart more than that.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
you feel like a superhero. Like Superman come down right now, you'd be looking at him like you have nothing against
Yes.
me. I'm a
So
superhero right now.
superhero. Yes. Is
Yes.
is the simple thing they tell you, and just tell you, like, today my daughter told me, she just told me, uh thank you, daddy, I love you, you are my meatball. Okay, how nice. Okay, I'm like, okay, that works. Okay,
Right.
you simple thing. Okay, I'm like, okay, that
Right.
works. Okay, that works. I'll take.
Yes.
Okay, that works. You know, it's like it hits different.
It
It's a
hits different.
it
Yeah.
that, that's the way I will end that. It hits
It
different.
hits different.
If
No,
you
it
know,
does.
if you know, you
You
know.
know.
If you know, you know.
You
If
know.
you know, you know.
Right.
Only girl dads will understand. If you know, you
You
know.
know. So another thing that since we're talking about different genders and thing, being a father, what would you say is a fun fact of being a father? The if you have to bring something to light that makes you be like wow, and just sit there and just laugh about it. What is a fun fact do you think about being a father?
Peace of mind. Peace of mind. Uh, Watching the next generation grow,
Mm-hmm.
and mm, teach raising them. Like, it's also like watching, like, the best way to describe it is like looking at you. It's like looking
Yes.
backwards. It's like, oh wow. Like, also, it also gives you a chance to learn. It's like teaching and learning. That's the way I see it. It's like, oh wow. Like when they tell you stuff, like they teach you stuff from their perspective. It's
Yes.
also, you get to be creative in funny ways. Like me and my daughter, we paint, we do a lot of painting together. So if you allow yourself into their world, you get to do things that you never know you could do. Like I do paintings with my daughter. It is out of this world. I do beautiful paintings. Like normally you won't. I paint, but I don't. But like the paintings I do with her is like, I won't sit down there and do it. But when I sit down there and we paint, when we paint together, when it's done, I'm like, oh wow, because now you become creative through their eyes. You understand? She's like, oh, paint this way, paint that way. Even with my son, when we do stuff together, like toys and everything, because now I'm not in control. I let them show me what they want to do. So it's like you allow the creativity of a child to take over. So that's beautiful, to see the way they see, like look at the world through their eyes. It's something spectacular to see. Also, the one thing I've been doing with my children is like I allow them take pictures. They sometimes they use my phone to take pictures. Once in a while, I just scroll through the pictures they take on my phone. Wow, they take beautiful pictures. I'm like, wow, they do this. You understand? So it's
Yeah.
like you don't know what you don't know until it happens. So you
Right.
understand what I'm saying? So that's something I've seen. Then when we go on walks, we go walking in the park, they tell me stories, like things like that. They explain things to me from their perspective. I'm like, my mind is blown.
Yes. No,
Yeah,
that's a good point.
yeah,
They'll say some things that you're like, how did they know that?
how-
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like, how
yeah,
did they know that? And I think that brings, you know, a lot of joy to you.
yeah,
Knowing that they, know so much. Knowledge is power, and they know so much and say so much stuff. So sometimes just being observant of not only us but people around them. Whether it's school, whether they go shopping, they go on the road, and just observe different people and their characteristics. It's just amazing how they just know what to say.
yeah.
A big fun fact for me is the fact that I love seeing little characteristics that me and my spouse have that the kids have.
Okay.
For instance, you know
Important.
that
Yeah, that's important.
I think that's like fun and that's like exciting. Like
Yeah.
for instance, my oldest daughter, she's very picky. Which I am as well.
Okay.
Certain things I like to eat, certain things I don't eat, and she's the exact same way. So sometimes when I go and be like, here, try this, she's already looking at you like, I'm not trying that because I know I'm not gonna like that. Which I'm the same way sometimes. I'm like,
Okay.
hey, I'm not gonna eat that, so why would I even try it?
That's
That's
wonderful.
it's just funny to see,
Yeah.
and she has strong will, which I do as well.
Yeah.
And ever since a baby, we could put her down and say, okay, it's time to go to sleep, and
Like, no.
yeah. No, it's not time. She'll let
Yeah.
you know. And
Who's
the same thing for me. So it's like the characteristics that you sometimes have, and they have it too. Is almost crazy to see. It's like a clone of yours.
Yes, yes. That's amazing.
You
That's
know.
I
So
like
like, based upon all these different qualities and different things that we talked about today, for a new dad who's listening, what advice would you give him?
for me, one of the biggest thing I'll tell you, patience. Patience. Get a good support group around you. Get if you don't have a support group, find good support group. Look for people who are already like fathers already, young older dads, or get to go to your church or wherever religious groups you belong to. Look for people in there who are already parents already. Try and look for people who can be like mentors to you and everything, so they'll give you guidance and tell you what to expect. Don't worry, you will still be surprised. So, but at least you'll be prepared. And when you are surprised, they'll tell you, oh, don't worry, that's normal, because some stuff will surprise you, but it will be nothing big. You understand? You know what I'm talking about? Like when the
Yeah.
baby's 3 o'clock, you'll be like, oh, what's happening? But it's nothing to be freaked out about. So things like that. So new dads, practice a lot of patience, get some rest, and
The rest.
the
The
rest
rest.
important.
I think all those things are great points, man. And I think for me, a new father, is just take it easy sometimes.
Yes.
I think as a new dad, especially for me, I was like, oh, this going on, this is going on. What should I do here? What
Yeah.
should yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, all the focus, which it should be, is on that child. So you're like, what's going on? Hey, it looked like she has a rash here. Oh, this is this. She
Yeah.
throwing up. What's going
Yeah.
on? And
Yeah.
me, I'm a person. I don't take things to chance, man. If I see anything that's out of the norm, I'm like, okay, let's bring this baby to to the doctor and hospital. I don't even hesitate, man.
Yes.
So I think that's the biggest things for me is just to take it easy sometimes. I think with just like we said in our earlier topics, if you do if we go 100% and do what's best, everything else will take care of itself.
Yes. And have a good support group. That's very important. Get
That
make
is.
as a new dad, don't. I'm not saying you can't keep your friends, but try and get people who are also like parents so they could guide you and tell you if, for example, the baby is thrown up at night, you don't want to call a single person. They don't know what to do with a baby. You want to call somebody who also has a baby or who has had a baby already so they could give you an advice on what to do before you could run to the hospital. You know, that's important. That's very, very important. You know, it's
No,
important.
I agree. And of course, we're gonna end this whole segment, this episode on a great positive note. By saying that, what is a fun fact is, an active father in a kid's in a child's life brings a two times higher chance of that child being able to succeed by a statistic.
Yes, it's true. Very much so. The child is more stable, able to thrive, and the home is more stable for the child. And there are a lot of studies out there that show when a father is in a child's life, they more than likely stay out of prison, more than likely
Yes.
stay out of gangs, stay out of all these negative things. So we speak out to all dads. Please remain active in your children's life. Please, no matter what the situation is, be involved one way or the other. Please, for everybody's sake, please.
Be involved, and then take it easy sometimes. Don't stress yourself out.
Yes,
You
please.
know, and I want to say to everybody, thanks for tuning in to today's Fatherhood Friday on the Beard Up podcast. Definitely, every Friday, I'll be posting different things on different topics on the Beard Up Twitter podcast, in which you guys can choose. You guys choose what you want me and Samson to talk about on every Friday, and then we'll break it down. We'll speak the gospel. We'll speak the gospel. So we have different topics for you to choose. Please choose. Please like and subscribe. And thanks for joining myself and Samson on this great Friday afternoon.
Thank you guys very much once again. Thank you. Stay hustle, stay positive, and be in peace. Be in peace to everybody. And to all the dads out there,
Take it easy. See you soon.